Welcome to Reality Creative Video. I'm Hermes, and today I need stock solutions. You've seen stock solutions in my videos. I thought I'd shoot a video of just how to make the stock solutions just for you guys who may not be sure what I'm talking about. So here we go. All right. First, you're going to need a kitchen scale. Any kitchen scale will work. Don't need a 3-digit scale for this operation. Take the cover off. Now we're going to be making sodium citrate, but any of the stuff that I make will follow the same procedure, like a NaCl. This is my stock of NaCl. I'm going to show you corn syrup separately, and there's also citric acid that I use. Okay, so it's all the same. So we're just going to do one for the sake of time. So the formula is 7.35 grams in 500 milliliters of water. So you need to know what 500 milliliters of water is. That's of distilled water, okay? And the first thing is that I used this graduated cylinder. It goes up to 100, and I poured into this bottle 5 times. This is a Nagleen scientific bottle. All my bottles here are Nagleen bottles. I love them. I'll link to Amazon on that. So what I did here was I used the graduated cylinder to measure 500 milliliters, and then I marked it here. So this top is how much distilled water that I need to add in order to, that's what funnels are for. Now, if you don't have a graduated cylinder, then just use the closest thing that you got for measuring liters, or it's not imperative. I mean, if you're off a few, 1 or 2 liters here and there, it's not going to make a difference. The whole purpose of making stock solutions is so that you don't have to be so precise with the granules. You know, the granules are very imprecise. They're not all, like this is sodium citrate. They're not all this, even though, hey, you look at this, but they're not all the same size and weight. And they're very imprecise when you're adding them to the liquid. You think you're adding like a little bit, but you're not. You're actually adding a lot in there. And that can screw up all of your formulas, especially the gold formula. So now I have it to this line. Now we're going to turn on the kitchen scale, and see, it says hello. It didn't like got water here. Does not like me moving the scale around. But anyway, let's try this again. Turn this on. It says hello. Now we're going to get a cup like this, okay? A lightweight cup. I mean, in the scientific circles, we have these things called this. I'll try and find a link to these things. They're really cool. You put them on here, and then you tear out your solution to get your weight. And so it's 0. And then we're going to pour 7.35 grams of solution in here. But if you don't have one of these nifty things, you can use a regular cup and just, one of these lightweight cups, tear that out, and that'll work as well. Now, we're going to use this only because you'll be able to see the powder going in there easier. So we need 7.35 grams. Now, I don't know if that's coming out on the display, but now we're just going to keep adding the sodium citrate powder till we get up to 7.35 grams. Getting close. Oh, we went over. What do you do when you went over? You grab some and you put it back. Pretty simple. So there we go, 7.35 grams. Now we're going to take that, and what's nice about this is that it lets you do this, and then we're going to dump it in here, just like this. All the powder from here in here, and you know, if you were using this one, you could do the same. Actually, this one might actually pour easier. Okay, so now we're in there. And remember, I did this, I poured the liquid in first. That's very important because you're going to change the solids that you add there is going to change the volume. So fill the liquid with 500 milliliters first, and then you add the solids. And then that's it. We now have our stock solution. If you're wondering what this is a pipette. It's for measuring. I think each drip of the pipette is about a half a milliliter. And you can get pipettes online too. I will link to pipettes as well. I like to keep the pipettes with the stuff, which is why this rubber band is here, because it's very easy when you got, you're doing measuring and you got a half a dozen pipettes around to make a mistake there. The next thing we're going to mix is corn syrup. First, we're going to take 20 milliliters of distilled water and put it in a beaker. Now, the corn syrup is not as critical, really, as the stock solutions. So I'm just going to go by the 20 milliliter mark on here, which, if I wanted to be very precise, I'd really have to use a graduated cylinder, like a 10 to the 10 millimeter mark there, or the 20 milliliter mark there, and then see what it is, because beakers are notoriously not accurate. But that's okay for our purposes. That's going to be fine. So we're going to need 30 milliliters of this thick stuff. Now, I use corn syrup. I don't use corn syrup light. I don't know if you can use corn syrup light. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But this is what I use, real corn syrup. Some people claim only use Cairo corn syrup. I don't know. This is what I used, and this is what I worked. This is what worked. Now, you see how thick this crap is. And believe you me, this is going to be the most difficult part of the process, is getting 20 milliliters of this stuff in here. Okay, that worked much easier. I've heated this into the microwave just to get it a little bit viscous. I mean, maybe the smarter idea would have been to heat the whole bottle. So now I'm going to mix my 20 milliliters of water in here with the 30 milliliters of corn syrup. And then I'm going to take a mixer and I'm going to begin to stir and mix it all mixed together. You'll find that thick viscous stuff kind of blends down pretty easily with the distilled water, which is why you don't need a 50-50 mix of it. If you can see, we got 50 milliliters roughly of this whole mixture right here, which is what we wanted. We had 30 milliliters of corn syrup and 20 milliliters of distilled water. And now we have a solution which we can actually put in an eyedropper. And my eyedropper is over here. I have a little bit of stuff left in here. See, it just drips out, which is what we need for when we're doing our colloidal work. And that's how you do it. I'm Hermes. This is Reality Creative Video, and I will talk to you again soon.